Well, right now I feel like it's in a pretty good position. I feel like we have like a lot of great leaders on campus right now. I feel like this is a pretty good time to be black going to OU. Everybody's doing a lot of things to progress the black community in general. So I would say that we have a great number of people doing a lot of great things.
Overall, I would say yes. It started off excellent actually. Then like my sophomore year, it was kind of like, but I think it's because like when you come in as a freshman, you're like excited because you've never been away from home before, so you're like, oh okay, I'm here, I'm ready, whatever's next, I'm here to do it. Then I was like sophomore year, I guess I got a little homesick, and I was just like, what am I doing with my life? Just life changes and just embarrassingness. But then after that, I got my life together, and I was like, I love OU, and I wouldn't rather go anywhere else.
I would say that I've had a very positive experience here at OU. I can't imagine going to any other school, college, university than coming to OU. I feel like I've been supported by my faculty, staff, my peers that have gone here as well, the friends that I've made, the things that I've been able to do here, I couldn't imagine doing them at any other university. And I know that OU is just not my glass ceiling. And from the opportunities I've had here at OU, I've been able to realize that. And I want to go out and accomplish more and hustle harder. So I've had a great experience here at OU.
Yeah, I've had a great experience. I think for the most part, the reason that my experience was so good is because I kind of stepped outside my box. I came in with someone that I knew, and it was nice having that person there with me, but like we kind of branched out and did our own things, and we also did things together, and that's how we made our group of friends. And I don't think that my experience here would have been anything like it is now if I didn't have those people with me from the beginning. So I would say, yeah, my experience has been great.
Yes, I love OU. With my scholarship, I have an urban scholarship. I'm in like several different programs such as Links, and that with the Links program, I have a peer mentor. I have people surrounding me that are doing the same things I'm doing. Like everyone's working hard. We had to go to study tables, we had to do meetings, and like everyone's pretty much just like striving to like do what we're supposed to do to succeed. So I love OU. Like everyone's really nice. Compared to other colleges, people were kind of like, like OU was like, everyone's just super friendly. Like I love the experience.
So yes, at one point in time, I actually strongly considered going to an HBCU. I thought that it would be cool to be around, amidst in the black culture, I'd be around a whole bunch of black people. Then I had a second thought. I thought, when I get out in the real world, I'm going to be surrounded by not just black people, because life is better. It's bigger than just being black. And there's white people as well. And I know that in order to be successful, I have to be able to be diversified as an individual and be able to talk amongst any type of crowd that there is. So I thought, it would be smart for me to be able to communicate and how to operate and work with not just black people, but white people as well. So that was one thing that led me to not wanting to go to just an all-black institution.
I personally did not consider going to HBCU because, in my opinion, the workforce, like those years after you graduate college, are composed of predominantly white people. So to me, it would have been like a culture shock going from experiencing those 4 years with like all people of my color, and then going to workforce was like you might not see a person of color. So I think to me, going to a predominantly white school or one that's not HBCU would be a better option because it's going to get you more adjusted to like opening to new cultures, stuff like that. So.
I would say mainly because I don't know, I think you just go, there's so many changes that you have to go through, and being the minority on a campus like this, where this is kind of like a bubble, and it's like you are the minority in the bubble, and people look at you weird, people say things sometimes out of line, and you're like, do I jump crazy, or am I just like my normal self, or should I just walk away? Sometimes even professors don't know how to like deal with a student of color or a student who aren't white. Like I think people don't have like a lot of cultural diversity, especially when people come from different cities where they've never met a black person before. There's been so many times it's been like, I've never met a black girl before. I'm like, well, what planet have you been living on? But it's like, people are so diverse and they come from so many different cultures. It's being a black person on a campus like this, you have to have a tough skin because you don't want to say the wrong thing, but then you also want to like educate people like, well, listen, I am here, so a tough skin probably.
I think having a strong friend group and foundation of what you want to do. A lot of times it's hard in general in college to get wrapped up in social life and other different types of distractions.
So I think just knowing and being able to stand your ground and knowing exactly what you want to ultimately do and where you want to be is definitely beneficial.
I think, if you even bring the question back down, what's most important for an African American student especially to realize at any university is that you have to maximize your resources. And to be able to do that, you need to know what they are. And to do that, you need to be comfortable getting out of your comfort zone and speaking to people. Like, you're going to be the only one in some of your classes forever. You're going to be the only one in some places forever. So you have to get comfortable being able to turn to the person on your right and the person on your left and say, hi, how are you? My name is. What do you think about this project? Even having casual conversations with people empowers you to know that you can do that anywhere. You can be comfortable anywhere. I know it's difficult sometimes, and I felt it myself, that you feel like you have to work 10 times as hard just to get 2 steps ahead when everybody's going 5. But I think you have to be able to have that willingness, and you have to be able to have that drive, because there's a purpose at the end. And you shouldn't ever just let the fact that you're African American or you're a minority student at a place where everyone doesn't look like you be your limiting factor.
I think there are some organizations that are out here that are doing great educational things, great things for the black community, but I do think there are others that aren't serving the black community well. I think that they're being more divisive and separating the community and making cliques and just not helping promote togetherness and unity. So encompassing both of it, I think that the majority are not serving it well, so I would have to say no, that they're not serving the black community.
Yes, I would say yes. Obviously, if you're in an organization, you think your organization is the best organization, like, oh no, mine is the best. But I think yes, especially when it comes to like banding together for something, I think the black community, if anything were to ever happen, it would be instant reaction. Yes, we're all here. Whoever, what do we need to do? Where do we need to be? So I would think so. I think you get a lot of diversity in the organizations that you do have. Like, you can go to one meeting and get this, and you can go to another meeting and get that. And I definitely think there is a lot of diversity. I think one thing we are missing though would be maybe something more educational based as far as like a black organization. I think we have African American studies like as far as classes, but an educational based like organization, I think that might be something that's like missing.
That's so hard to answer. Okay, I think for the most part, black organizations on campus do respect each other. I think it's kind of hard to balance the different events and stuff that we do have, because they kind of overlap, because there's so many different black organizations on campus that it's kind of hard not to step on any toes. And I don't know, I think that there could be a lot more communication between the organizations, and I think that something great could rise out of that, just because like collabing with different programs, or even like, I don't know, just collabing, I think, as a community would kind of uplift our community in a sense, just because I feel like being in a lot of different ways, since there are so many, kind of separates us in a way, not in a bad way, but it kind of like makes a gap. And I think that being able to collaborate would like connect us more. It was kind of bad way to answer it, but I don't know, I feel like overall that there is like a great sense of between the organizations. That was kind of hard.
So far, I've had a good experience. I haven't had really any issues with race, but it definitely pushes you to work a little bit harder because there's only so many of us. So if anything, I just kind of embrace it and use it as motivation to work harder. But I definitely, don't really view it as a competition. I'm here like everyone else, just trying to get an education and a good job. So.
It doesn't really bother me. I was always in pretty diverse settings growing up, so I've gotten kind of used to being one of the only black people, and if you don't go to an HBCU, you're always going to be one of the few, just because that's how it is. So it doesn't bother me. I love it here. I think the only time it's uncomfortable is when I feel like I'm being disrespected or silenced or something like that. But in general, I love it. It doesn't bother me.
So personally speaking, I don't wake up and think like, I'm black, so like I can't do this, I can't do that. Like I just see it as like I'm an individual. I'm a man before like I'm just a black man. Like I'm just a man first. So I don't let that hinder me as far as my thoughts, endeavors, or anything that I want to do with my personal life. I feel like there's nothing that I can't do, so I don't let that hold me back in any way. So being a minority on campus is not really that big of a deal to me because I feel like anything the next person can do, I can do as well, or if not better.
No, I feel like as a president, he's not here to help black people. He's here to help all the students, no matter what race. As an African American, I personally feel like it's an empowering thing because I feel like if I do what I'm supposed to do and graduate, and I can be as high a position as he is one day.
I mean, I feel like I haven't gained any benefit at all. Like I don't know whoever the president is. Like I'm not very engulfed as to what happens like politically here at OU. I feel like most things are. I know we have a student senate, but I don't know how much say-so they truly have. So I mean, us personally having a black president, I mean, I'm sure it's beneficial in some ways, but I mean, personally, I don't know. I haven't felt like personal benefit. Like I'm still broke. I still have tuition to pay for and things like that. So nothing. I feel like nothing has really changed or would be different if there was a different president. I'm not entirely sure.
No and yes. I would say no. I would say yes because I think OU is a very accepting place compared to like places that I have been and like other schools that I've been at and like just listening to other stories from other schools. I think OU is a very accepting place. But I would say no, but not because it's their fault. Sometimes it is their fault because some people are just rude. But I think because they don't know how to like approach black students, especially us being the minority on campus. They don't know how to like approach us and talk to us and like what's appropriate to say and what's not appropriate to say. And I think it's like cultural competence isn't always there with people. So yes, they respect us because I think this is a very diverse place where people are very accepting, but no, because they don't know what it means to respect someone who's not like them.
That's a really loaded question. I feel like I think for the most part on the surface level they respect black students because you would have to do something pretty obvious for us to know. But with social media and things like that going on today, there are times where you see people doing things that are overtly racist. So, just by being around the white students, I would say that they do. But behind closed doors, I wouldn't be surprised if many of them didn't.
That seems like these are always hard because you never want to put an entire group of people under a certain label, but I feel like part of respecting someone is to kind of have an understanding about them, and because a lot of white students don't understand anything about anybody who isn't white, I feel like at OU, I'd have to say I don't think a lot of them do. I know it doesn't apply to all of them, but when we do things like the rally that we have for Mike Brown, and then you get on social media and see people complaining and not understanding why, and white students walk past and they make jokes and things like that. When you go out on the weekends and some white guy is drunk and he comes up to you and he's hitting on you and it's just really disrespectful, like he wouldn't do that in a normal setting. So I don't know. I don't think it's specific to OU. I think that's just a general issue. So.
One thing I think needs to change within the black community as a whole, maybe at OU in general, I'm not sure how you ever want to put that, but I think education really needs to be pushed more within the black community. I think, we do a lot of learning about where we want to go, but we don't know where we were or where we have been. And I think, if we understood those things more, we would understand the pitfalls that we had in the past. That way we wouldn't make those same mistakes in the future. And then, also we could say, well, these people did these certain things to us in the past. Why wouldn't they do them again? Staying cautious and making sure you're able to put yourself in the best position.
I think communication should change. Right now I'm hearing a lot of underclassmen, specifically freshmen, coming out saying that they don't really feel welcome in the community, the black community at OU, that they don't enjoy coming to the school because they feel the community is unwelcoming. And I think that it is a communication aspect, and I don't think that it's all on upperclassmen not helping them feel more welcome and outreaching to them and saying, and being more big brother, big sister type, I think that it's give and take. It's, if you think of it as a corporate community, like if we're at a job and you want something, you want to gain prominence in a job or prominence in a specific area, you will sort of put yourself out there and reach out to your higher ups and to get what you want, and I don't think that's enough happening. That's why I think that they're not really enjoying their experience here so far, because they're waiting for upperclassmen to come and to sort of tell them what to do when your experience is all what you make it, so you have to be out here. But for the most part, besides that, I do think that communication aspect, so if we want to talk about organizations, I think that all the black organizations need to communicate better, so it won't be as much stepping on toes, it won't be as much he said, she said, divisiveness, things of that nature happening, so we can all be on one accord and still unified at the end of the day.
I feel like the administration could do a lot of things. One of those things being to push, recruitment in lower economic status cities to help black students get into college more often. I know people have been trying to do those things on their own with programs like URAP, but if we had help from somewhere like administration of the entire campus, that would be a really big help. I think scholarship would get a lot more black students to come, and just having more of an honest approach. When I was coming, they were telling us so much about diversity, and then when I came, I saw so many international students, but no one who really looked like myself. And I feel as if they told me up front, this is what we have, and this is what we're working on, then I would have been more likely to just be fine with that instead of coming and kind of being upset. So just honesty and really being supportive of going to the black community to work things out.